Okay, how's everybody doing? Um, Finished some new cars, and I figured that everybody would like to see them, and so I will start off with my June car of the month. The theme for Gaslands UK this time was ramshackle, and so I picked out this little Fiat, and since Fiats are pretty well ramshackle on their own to start with, and so got this little Fiat. It was a drag car, and since ramshackle and safety don't really go together, this car had a roll cage in it, and I cut the roll cage out, so it's a little less safe to drive. And we've got these Halen terrain wheels, and I added these are little button clasps, and they make you can get a pack of like 20 of them at Walmart for a couple bucks. So they're perfect little wheel cutters for your side mounted rams and stuff in the game. And got some 40K pieces here, and for the blades at the front, because this is a slime performance car, so it's got rockets and then front and side rams. So it's a legal build, and it's got an oil dropper, and as well. I 3D printed the oil dropper myself. And we've got this wooden shield for door armor. But it's red, white, and green. Try to do like the Italian flag, since it's Fiat. And I did the 3D printed headlights, because the vehicle didn't really come with those. And the big thing with this one is I wanted to work on my rusting, and I wanted to make my weathering look better. And I saw some techniques where it's using stippling. You can kind of see where I was messing with it. And it's not too hard of a technique. You just, it's basically dry brushing and then, kind of doing like this. I used various sizes of sponge to get the detail. And you can kind of see here where it really did turn out very well, and I'm very happy with how it looks. And so yeah, it looks like it's going to shake apart at any moment, and that's a rusty little demon, but I really like how it turned out. And I got the driver in here, and as I turn around, you can kind of see I made some like McDonald's food wrappers to put on the dashboard, just to add to the trashy ramshackle nature. And he's got a bag in there, and nitrous, and I added the little feather thing from I think it's either High Elf or Empire. It's a little helmet accessory piece, just to give it a little more extra color, because it kind of turned really brown on me, and I think that looks good. And then they got the tarp here that he can slide forward, in case it rains. And he's got the pickaxe for anyone trying to board him. It's held with duct tape and one little hook, because the idea is like the two hooks that it would have been there, one's gone now. The spoiler is made from a round piece from Finn's Custom Diecast, and then I took that piece, and then it's the corrugated card pieces from Implements of Carnage, and then I took green stuff and made the weld lines, so it's it's welded spoiler, and it's also the hard points for these missiles. And I know somebody who probably knows munitions better than I do, probably knows that the SU-23As that are on these, it's probably not the correct designation for those missiles, but this is a sci-fi post-apocalyptic setting, so I don't think it has to be completely accurate. I think these are sidewinders, though, so I'm not for sure. But anyway, the doors are pretty much just old fantasy shields. Actually, I think it's Frostgrave shields. but which is another game I'd really like to get into. But yeah, so that's my June car of the month. The July one is going to be cop cars, and I'm really not sure what I'm going to do with that just yet. But I did want to show off a couple more vehicles, and, well, actually more than a couple. But this is my Idris monster truck. It was an Avenger monster truck. And I made the ram. This is a cupcake ring. And you can see I kind of hooked it up there. Then used some stir sticks to bulk it up. And so yeah, that's a Mickey Mouse cupcake ring. Someone suggested I make the eyes red, so I did that when I was showing off the build on Facebook. And before I painted it. And I was like, yeah, I kind of agree with that. The headlights are these little bejeweled things. Costume jewelry, basically, beads. And then we got more Halen terrain armor. Since I got that second place, I'm putting together I'm using my prizes to make my builds look really good. I use these, they're stickers more than they're decals, and I'm not quite happy with them, because they tend to pop up, but I really like the image. I really wish I could figure out a way to blend the lines down to the armor. I don't know if decal set would take that edging off, but I don't have any right now, so that's the only thing I don't really like. I could probably pull that sticker off, but I really like the image of the girl sitting on the Chevy logo, and you know, that one looks a lot better. I was able to cut. It's badass girls drive badass toys, and then you got this vault girl here who's a little scantily clad. She's clever, you know, but and I don't need to explain the joke. But that number, nice. Anyway, so yeah, very simple build for my Idris monster truck, and I like it. I thought about putting a certain Florida governor tied to the front of it, but I was like, nah, I don't want to do. I don't get too political. It's not really for this kind of thing, but it did cross my mind. And this is another one I did. This is Scarlett Anne Cadillac. Pretty simple build. It's a harpoon, RC car bombs, and ram, and extra crew. I made the pink myself with a mixture of this army painter fairy dust and a little bit hotter pink. I think this is it. I think this is the pink I used. Yeah, I think this is the right pink I used. And mixed them together to get the metallic pink. It's a 53 custom Cadillac. The harpoon is a Dollar Tree crossbow thing. Thinking about calling this one the Arquebus. But yeah, basically it's a very fancy Cadillac. And I had this zombie survivor figure that's kind of like Michonne from Walking Dead, and I wanted to pirate her up, so I took one of my pirate figures and lopped the hat off and just transplanted the hat onto her head, and so voila, pirate. You can see my junky table here. This is another one of my pirate builds. You can tell I love the Scarlett Anne faction. So this is a heavy truck with ram, harpoon, and 125. And so you got the captain here. I haven't named this one yet, but You've got the hood here. It's got, again, one of those cheaper decal stickers, but I like the girl sitting on the pair of dice. And I think that looks good. I might call it the Paradise, because that's kind of a joke, you know, pair of dice. She's got a nice pair, you know. So, yeah, pretty simple build. This is an Oshkosh snowplow. I didn't really change the snowplow too much. I just built a cab for it to house the gun. And you could say there's 2 more crew member in here. There's a firing port at the back, but you wouldn't really see into it, so it's not too big of a deal. I have an open hatch here, but I glued this down and I didn't want to. Resin is very brittle, especially once you've got it glued to something. So if I tried to pull that off and replace it, there's a good chance I would snap that like a wafer thin. And so I just left it. But pretty simple build. Didn't change much, just pretty much added the guns and I went crazy with the popsicle sticks. And you got the guy in the driver, the gas mask, and the pirates hanging off. I love Scarlett Anne. They really are the epitome of drive me closer, I want to hit it with my sword. You got this big ass cannon, and their style is still to jump on somebody and shoot them. And I did this one. This is another Scarlett car, but it's a little non-traditional since it's only got a single crew performance car. Rear mounted ram, harpoon. This is the Wasp, and it's a Cunningham Roadster. You got the dude with the head covering thing and the goggles, and he's got a stabbing knife, and then you've got the Stinger at the back of the spiky ram. Spike's pretty much made out of nails. I've got a whole little bag of nails that I use every now and then. They're still kind of annoying because they're sharp, and I've stuck myself a few times with these things, and they hurt. But yeah, pretty simple build. Halen terrain wheels again. I 3D printed and made this harpoon myself, so well, I didn't make the 3D. I didn't make the STL file, but I did print the file myself. So that's my Hornet or Wasp. Yeah. I also use to make it look like he's got reloads of the harpoon. There's a quiver of arrows from a fantasy kit in there. But yeah, basic strategy is, you can harpoon somebody and then you can drag them into the ram, and then you can activate the performance car's slip-away ability. And if somebody slams you in the rear, you're not taking hazards. So it's a win-win there. I think it's a good build. It's definitely different than what you would normally do with Scarlett Anne. Normally, Scarlett Anne, you want a ram or a harpoon, or a ram and a big gun and boarding party. So it's a little bit different. But now these two are straight up Scarlett Anne's take on performance cars. And these are the Corvettes. These are the blockade runners. They are basically mortars and droppers. So mines, depth charges. So I haven't really named them outside of the blockade runners as far as the team goes. But you got the blue one here with the skull and the hooks. And then you got the one with the Templar logo on. Nothing too fancy. Kind of running out. I actually am out of any like number decals, like racing number decals. I've got some like Warhammer numbers, but nothing that really makes for racing. Otherwise, I was going to put them right here, make them look more racy, but they still work for what they need them to do. And 3D printed driver, and Then this one's a 1/72 scale pirate guy. So yeah, and you can see here, these were rubber tires. One of these days, I'm going to remember when I've got a vehicle with real rubber tires to not prime them, because when you prime rubber tires, it becomes a sticky glue, and I keep making that same mistake, and I keep doing it over and over and over again. And then we got this one. This one again, I didn't change the. This was a Matchbox Ford Excursion. I didn't change the actual paint job on it because just look at it. I mean, Pirates Treasure Map. That's what this vehicle is called. It's the Treasure Map, and it's got rockets and it's got this front grinder ram, and it's got 4 people. It's a truck. Very, very simple. I mostly just weathered the exterior, painted the crew, and painted the interior, weathered the interior. And these are 3D printed wheels that I 3D printed myself. And so, yeah, this one's a very simple build, but it just looks great. It looks perfect for the game. It's not necessarily, you know, competition level artwork, but I like it. And I like the ram. I like the little front grinder thing and the rockets. But yeah, I love that. That one turned out good. And then we got this one that I really like. I like how it turned out. This is another one I kept the paint job because I didn't want to mess with the fire. And but I did everything else, repainted everything else. So front machine gun ram. And then instead of doing pirates, I decided to do Native Americans. I had these STL files of these. I've got a few more of these guys, and this guy is just he's not part of this STL group, but he looks good. I like the mohawk, so I left it then. And so I got the Mustang decals. I might come back with a metallic pen and trace these out some, but for now it's done. It's a tabletop piece. It's not a, you know, completely shiny one, but I like how it turned out. I like how these guys turned out. But yeah, just to do break up the pirate monotony on Scarlett Anne. I mean, that's what this is. Still a Scarlett vehicle. And I like it too. It's just simple. Leaving the paint alone and everything. But this is the one I think most people will probably like, and most people will probably appreciate. I was gifted the STL file for this Foxy head, and I was gifted it a long time ago, in fact, and I had printed it out and set in my box for a long time, and I was trying to figure out what to do with it. And so I ended up with this. I can run it either as a mortar and ram or bazooka and exploding ram. Either way, it's a good idea. But, you know, bite of 87. And I love this Foxy head. The guy that created it, I think he created it for his son because his son's a big Five Nights at Freddy's fan. And I like the games too. I more or less like watching other people play it than play it myself. I'm terrible at the games, but I do like the lore, and I'm looking forward to the movie. But you got a Warhammer Fantasy Treasure Chest, just to drive home the pirate theme, and yeah, I like this. This head is just absolutely awesome. Foxy is awesome. So yeah, this is an ice cream truck, obviously, but take a bite. And the Yarr baby. But I really fought myself whether or not to use this as Scarlett Anne or Beverly. Because Beverly's a very appropriate Five Nights at Freddy's sponsor too. Could probably, of course, use it for both. I don't think anybody would hold it against me. But this is still one of my favorite simple builds. And this is a margarite, so it's actually got a working suspension, even though I switched out the wheels on it for Hot Wheels wheels. And so it kind of got a little bounce to it. But so yeah, that's what I worked on over the month-ish. And so July's car of the month competition is cop cars. So I've got to come up with something for that. And probably do some Idris and slime vehicles next. But anyway, if you like what I do, like, share, subscribe. Comments are always welcome. But you can really help me and really support me by going to my Etsy store, KingofCatsCrafts. And I have completed Gaslands cars and trucks and other things. Perfect for this game. Tabletop ready. And I'm usually adding something every month or two. So, yeah. Thank you for staying and listening to me ramble. And so with that, I will let you go. Take care, be safe, and goodbye.